Mike Tyson wasn't just a boxer. He was a living, breathing force of nature, a human wrecking ball, a mythical beast who made grown men tremble before even stepping into the ring. But behind the knockout power, behind the roaring crowds, was a broken boy, a haunted soul, a man at war with himself. This is not a highlight reel. This is the real story of how the most feared fighter in history became his own worst enemy and lived to tell the tale. Born into chaos. Mike Tyson was born in Brownsville, Brooklyn, a place where dreams didn't just die, they were never born. Before we dive into the raw, unfiltered truth of how this boxing legend was forged, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. His father abandoned the family before Mike could speak. His mother, Lorna, struggled with poverty, alcohol, and unstable relationships. By age 7, Mike had experienced trauma most adults never face. He was abused, he was bullied, and he was angry. He had no guidance, no protection, just fists. By the time he was 13, Tyson had been arrested 38 times. That's not a typo, 38. Most people wrote him off. A future statistic. A headline waiting to happen. But fate had other plans. At a juvenile detention center, Tyson met Bobby Stewart, a counselor and ex-boxer, who spotted something hidden beneath the rage, a raw, violent power. He introduced Mike to legendary trainer Cus D'Amato, and the boy who had nothing was about to become everything. The making of a monster. Cus D'Amato didn't just teach Tyson how to fight, he taught him how to think, how to channel the storm inside. Tyson trained like a madman. He lived in the gym, slept in the gym, watched fight footage until his eyes burned. Cus filled the father-shaped hole in Tyson's heart, and Tyson worshipped him in return. By age 20, Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Opponents weren't just beaten, they were destroyed. He didn't box, he hunted. Fast hands, brutal uppercuts, no mercy. The world had never seen anything like him, and may never again. Fans adored him, media obsessed over him, and promoters, they got rich. But while Tyson was conquering the world, something darker was growing inside. The same pain that fueled his rise would one day ignite his fall. Power, pain, and Don King. In 1985, everything changed. Cus D'Amato died. And with him, Tyson's last source of real discipline vanished. Into the void stepped Don King. Flamboyant, flashy, and hungry, he promised Mike the world. What he delivered was chaos. Under King's management, Tyson's life became a circus. Women, drugs, street fights, lavish parties. He made over $300 million and spent almost all of it. He surrounded himself with yes-men, parasites, and leeches. No one said no to Mike Tyson. And that was the problem. In 1988, he married actress Robin Givens. It ended in disaster, accusations of abuse, public meltdowns, and a televised interview that exposed his mental unraveling. Tyson wasn't just the baddest man on the planet anymore. He was becoming unstable, unpredictable, and self-destructive. Prison and the fall. In 1992, the unthinkable happened. Mike Tyson was convicted of sexual assault and sentenced to 10 years in prison. The boxing world was stunned. Fans were divided. Some said he was framed, others believed he was a predator. Whatever the truth, the result was the same. The king of boxing was now inmate number 922,335. Inside prison, Tyson transformed again. He converted to Islam, read philosophy, studied history, trained in solitude. But make no mistake, this wasn't a redemption arc, it was survival. After 3 years, he was released. And when he stepped back into the ring, he was still terrifying. But something was gone. The spark, the control, the purpose. What followed were chaotic fights, bizarre behavior, and one of the most infamous moments in sports history. If you're finding this deep dive into Mike Tyson's life compelling, consider subscribing to our channel. The bite heard around the world. June 28, 1997, the rematch, Tyson vs. Holyfield 2. It was supposed to be his redemption. Instead, it became his most shameful moment. Frustrated by headbutts and falling behind, Tyson snapped. In front of millions, he bit a chunk out of Holyfield's ear. The referee stopped the fight. The crowd rioted. Tyson was fined $3 million and banned from boxing temporarily. The man who once ruled the sport had become its villain. Public opinion turned. Endorsements vanished. Promoters backed away. Tyson had become radioactive. But even then, the story wasn't over. Broken, and beginning again. By 2003, Tyson was bankrupt. He owed more than $23 million. He had no belt, no money, no direction. For years, he drifted, made cameos, did exhibition fights, said bizarre things in interviews. People laughed at him, mocked him, called him washed up. But beneath the surface, something was shifting. Tyson began to confront his demons. Therapy, sobriety, reflection. He released a memoir, starred in a one-man show, opened up about his childhood trauma, addiction, and mental health struggles. And something remarkable happened. The world started listening. The man who once scared the world was now bearing his soul. A new Mike Tyson. In his 50s, Tyson found peace in unexpected places. He became a father, a husband, a cannabis entrepreneur, a philosopher. He launched Hotboxin' with Mike Tyson, a podcast where he shared insights on life, spirituality, and pain, with a vulnerability that shocked those who only remembered his old persona. In 2020, he returned to the ring in an exhibition against Roy Jones Jr. He was 54, and he looked terrifying again. Not because he was violent, but because he had found something scarier than power: peace. The legacy of a wounded god. Mike Tyson's story isn't a simple one. It's not just about knockouts and titles. It's about trauma, redemption, collapse, rebirth. He was a symbol of brute force, then a symbol of self-destruction. Now, he's a symbol of survival. From abused child to world champion. From millionaire to inmate. From joke to legend. He is not a hero, he is not a villain. He is a mirror, showing us the limits of power, the weight of pain, and the possibility of change. Mike Tyson didn't just fight opponents. He fought himself. And after all these years, he's still standing. If you found Tyson's journey as astonishing as we did, hit subscribe and ring that bell because the next story will blow your mind.